Senator Cory Booker has said whoever is president, corporate consolidation needs to be in check. So ahead of the second Democratic debate, we're taking a look at what the merger boom has meant for the biggest city in a key swing state. Leslie Picker joins us now with more on this. Hey, Leslie.
Hey, Melissa, here in St. Louis, we've seen some of the biggest takeovers in recent years. Anheuser-Busch, Panera, Scottrade, Monsanto, Express Scripts, all multi-billion-dollar acquisitions of St. Louis headquarters. Now, while it's become a political football, studies have not made a direct link between mergers and local economies. But in St. Louis, this recent merger boom certainly hasn't helped. The population growth over the last 18 years has come in under 5%. That's 1/4 that of the national growth rate, and income per capita is slowing relative to bigger cities like New York. We spoke with John Hall, who advises on M&A regionally. He says one of the big reasons St. Louis has seen so many companies get bought is because there are a lot of storied family-run businesses here where the newer generation just decides to sell, but he says that can show up in the psyche of the city.
People perceive some of these large mega mergers as being threatening, in which jobs are lost, jobs are relocated. And I think that people want their politicians to understand that economic duress and that economic stress is real, and they feel it.
Wholesale says there are positives to corporate consolidation as well. Employees who are large shareholders can cash out their stake and reinvest it elsewhere, including even back into the city of St. Louis. Also, he says that some people who have been laid off as a result of mergers have gone on to start new businesses here in St. Louis that they're hoping will be the next Fortune 100 companies, among the Fortune 100 companies in the future, guys.
Leslie, how does this even become a political issue unless there are antitrust issues involved with the proposed merger? I mean, if both boards approve the deal, how can the government step in at all?
That's a good question. And oftentimes, at least in the most recent political cycle, we've seen so much antitrust scrutiny centered around these big tech companies, Amazon, Facebook, Google, and what they want to do in terms of breaking up those companies. Now people are turning more to corporate consolidation and the weakening of the 1980s of antitrust laws that led to so much industry consolidation, and are really looking at the impact on these big cities. But I don't think there's really much they can do looking backward at some of the big deals that have taken place here. It would be more about looking at those laws again and potentially revising them moving forward.
And Leslie, I mean, all this is part of a much bigger phenomenon, which is if you look at the middle of distributions, whether it's institutional like tech or what you just reported on, whether it's income distribution, whether it's politics, the center is getting smaller and the two tails are getting bigger. And there isn't much you can do. That's just the reality of the world we live in.
Right, exactly. I mean, and that's one of the big challenges, especially as you listen to the debates tonight, where candidates have been really talking more and more about this issue of industry consolidation, corporate consolidation, breaking up the monopolies and so forth. It's really difficult to do that kind of trust-busting behavior like we saw, 150 years ago. In today's day and age, the laws don't really provide it. So their only recourse would be to change the laws. And I don't actually know if there's a political willingness to do that. But what's interesting, too, is that usually people have a cause to break up monopolies when they see prices rise. And a lot of these companies haven't really been raising prices. The only place people have seen that is the airlines, but that's just one case study.